Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be talking about we are going to be doing semantic and SEO friendly URL with .htaccess file. And some people has been asking me to do video on this topic about semantic and SEO friendly URL, and this is the video. So we are going to be doing video. We're going to be doing a custom URL with .htaccess file. And why do you need semantic and SEO friendly URL? Because of search engine and SEO. Because Google and other search engines like Bing, they don't like URL that looks this way, like a query string that shows the full query string and other stuffs in the URL. And the URL that search engines like and are search engine friendly is a URL that look like this, like another page / how to make SEO friendly URL / the month, the post month / the post year, and you can change it anyhow you like. You can include any complex URL you like. So, and that is what we are going to be doing in this tutorial. So if I should click on this stuff now to go to another tutorial, though as you can see to go to another page, sorry, as you can see, after getting to this page, it got the post here from the query string, also the post month from the query string, and also the post string that how to make SEO friendly URL. So it's still going to do the same thing. Let me just reload it. It's still going to do the same thing if I click on this SEO friendly URL. As you can see, another page / how to make / this. Okay, so and it still got the query strings, the same query strings from the URL. Okay, so this is what we are going to be doing in this tutorial, and I'm also going to introduce you to .htaccess file. Okay, so before we move on, please support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Okay, now let's go to the full tutorial now. Okay, so in the root directory of your website, this is how it's going to list out the content of the website. If you don't have a index.html file in your website, in the root directory of your website, so it's going to list out the content of the website. So, but I'm not running the live server, I'm running localhost. So, but it's going to behave the same way as your live server. So everything you are doing in this tutorial is going to behave the same way as your live server. Okay, so this is the tutorial folder, and as you can see, these are all the content that is listing out. Okay, so this is the code. Now, so I've created the .htaccess file, and I have PHP files and an HTML file here. Okay, to create the .htaccess file, just create a file with the name .htaccess, nothing before and nothing after. Else, it will not regard it as an htaccess file. Okay, the htaccess file is a server configuration file used to configure the server. So it is used for it has a lot of uses, like to redirect the user from one location to another, to force the redirection of HTTP to HTTPS, and for cross origin resource sharing, configuration, and so on. But in this tutorial, we are going to be using it to do to configure the URL for user-friendly URL configuration. So that's what we are going to be using it to do in this tutorial, and we are going to be doing using the mode rewrite. Okay, so everything we are going to be writing all the old code we are going to be writing this .htaccess file is going to be in vain if the .htaccess file is not allowed in the server main configuration file. So if it is not allowed, if it is disabled in the main configuration file, it's not going to do anything. So, but don't worry, all servers allow .htaccess file by default. So using and writing and configuring server with .htaccess file is not recommended and is not advised. Even if you go to the HTTPD documentation of htaccess file, it's not allowed. It's not allowed in. It is allowed, but it's not recommended. So the one that is recommended is using the main server configuration file to do all your server configuration. But the use case of the htaccess file is when you don't have access to the main server configuration file, then you can use the htaccess file. But the htaccess file is going to work. It's going to work perfectly anyway, as the same way as the main server configuration file is going to work perfectly as that. Okay, so we are going to be using the mode write also, and we are going to be writing it inside the if module statement. Now, what if this if module does is we are going to be testing it against a module. So if the module, it will ignore the code and the statement inside the if module. If the module is not configured well or is not allowed in the main server configuration file, then it will just go on, instead of displaying an error message or not displaying anything in the client browser, you just go on and ignore the statements that is written inside the if module. Okay, so now the mode write is going to work if it is allowed in the main server configuration file, but it is always allowed. It is always allowed in all server configuration file. Okay, now to turn on the mode write, we have to turn it on. To use the mode write, we have to first of all turn it on, and to turn it on, I'm going to use the write engine, then I'm going to turn it on. Now to turn it off, just write off. Then all the statements that follows here, all the statements that we are going to be writing here, they are not going to have any effects. Okay, now that we've turned on the write engine, now the next thing we want to do is we want to now by default is listing out our website's content, and we don't want that because we don't have an index.html file in the directory. Don't worry about the index.html file. What it does is it just tells the browser that, hey, I am the default file to load. If you come to the website, I am the default file to load. And when we don't have the index.html file, it's just going to go on and list out the contents of our website, since there's no index, since it does not know which file to load. Now, to prevent that, we are going to first of all enable follow symlinks to enable the follow symbolic link. Okay, what this, some server always turn this on by default, but we are going to enable it since it is not enabled. So we are going to enable it now. Now let's go back to the browser and just reload the page to see the difference. Now, okay, we are getting an internal server error. It's like there is an error here. And what's the error? The write engine. follow symlinks. Okay. Yeah, it's supposed to be options, not option. Okay, now let's go back to the browser and just load it. Whenever there's an error in the htaccess file, that's when it will throw internal server error. Okay, now it's now displaying forbidden. By default, it's going to display forbidden. When it does not know which file to load, it's not going to just go on and list out the content of our directory. So now the next thing is, let's tell it the default file to load. Since it does not know the file to load, now to tell it the default file to load, we are going to use the directory index directive. So we are going to say home.php. Now if you now go back to the browser and just reload the page, now it's going to serve the home.php. Now if I just go on to the tab now and just type home, so it's going to say not found. What if the user just comes to our website and just type www.example.com/home? So it's just going to display something like this. Okay, now to prevent that, we are going to use rule. We are going to use some rules to achieve that. Now first of all, we are going to use the right cond. The right cond sets the conditions of the directive that we want to achieve. Okay, now first of all, we are going to get the request, that is the URL of the request, and we are going to match it against some regular expression. The regular expression that it uses is perl like regular expression. So that's the regular expression that is used. So if you already know perl, this you should be familiar with this regular expression. Okay, we are matching the // then everything that comes, like the domain name now, everything there, then / optional is optional, then home, then we are matching the dots, home dots. Now it could be .php or HTML. So it could be .php or HTML. So it maps the domain name and the home.php file, and it checks this one. It will say whether PHP or this pipe sign means or PHP or HTML. So .php or .html. Okay, so that's the condition. Now we are going to use the write rule. The write rule will be the one to write the rule with some regular expression, with perl like regular expression. Okay, now I'm going to see everything that comes before it, the dots, and so we are matching all characters, every characters before the home, then dots, PHP or HTML, PHP or HTML, and it could be .html, .htm or .html. So that's the reason why we are putting the question mark here, that it can have .htm, it can have L at the back or without L. Okay, and we are saying that this is what is going to end it. So after matching this, so the right rule is going to match this first condition, and is going to match it with this. So I'm going to say just match it with this. Just match it with, because this is going to match everything into a group. So this one, the first parenthesis here is group 1 and the second parenthesis there is group 2. So we are saying / the group. Then we are going to use a flag at the back that, okay, after matching it, just stop executing the rule there and redirect it with a strict redirection of 301 strict redirection. Just redirect it to home.php. Just redirect it to home.php. Okay, so let me quickly change the stuff here to Perl. Okay, all right. So now let's go back to the browser and just reload it. After reloading it, okay, we made a mistake somewhere. I think it's not Perl. Okay, it's Ruby. Sorry, it's Ruby. I should set it to PowerShell. Okay. Made a mistake somewhere. Where's the mistake? Home.php. Home.php. And what do we do wrong? The request is home / PHP or HTML and home / PHP HTML. Then okay, I think we did something here. We have to remove the space there, and let's go back and just reload it. Okay, the error is caused by the follow sim link. Now let's wrap it inside an if module, and here also let us create a space if module. Okay, and what the options, let's check for the module of the options, mode negotiation.c. Now if this is allowed, then use the options, but I'm going to be using the sim link if owner match. Okay, the sim link if owner match. So that's what I'm going to be using if this mode negotiation is configured well and allowed. Okay, let's go back and just load the page. All right, I think there's a mistake somewhere. Links. Okay, this is supposed to be links. Okay, let's load the page. All right, as you can see, it still loads the website, even if I type /home or without any /, or if I type even home.php. So it's okay. So it's redirecting back to the default stuff. Okay, and we can also fix that. We are going to be seeing how to fix that just in a moment. Okay, after we've configured the home page, after we've configured the home page successfully now. Okay, and the next thing is, the purpose of this tutorial is to create a user-friendly URL. Okay, now this is where we are going to create it. Okay, now to begin, we have to use write cond. Let's use the write cond, and the condition that we want to check for the request file name. Now we don't want to match a directory. And the write cond, we can write a multiple write cond before a write group. Okay, now we don't want to match a directory in the URL with the URL. Now what we want to match is a file name with .php. Request file name with ending with .php. Okay, so this minus f means file name. Okay, so if you want to know more about htaccess, just go to the documentation. This is the home page of the documentation, and this the documentation of mode write, this documentation of if module, and this is documentation of options, these options here. Okay, now let's go on. And the write rule. Now the first thing I would love to write in the rule is I want to be able to match every, if I type this file name now, another page.php. If I type the another page.php, it's going to say another page. So it's going to say, alright, it's giving me internal server. Okay, because this, alright, in this page. Okay, it still goes to the another page. Alright, it still goes to the another page, but at times it might return not found or not permitted. So this is the rule. Okay, let's just remove this and let's check if it's still going to match. Okay, it's still match. Okay, now this rule is going to match everything. Because this condition that we are matching against, so it's going to match the write cond is going to like return the domain name, the base name of the domain name of the website, and the write rule will now match against any URL after the domain name. And we can now match everything after the domain name that does not end with that does not have any extension like .php or .html. Now I want to match it with .php. So everything is going to match .php, even if we don't put the extension at the back. And let's match the HTML page. Let's check the HTML page now. HTML. Alright, still match the HTML page now. Okay, now this is where we've gotten to. Now in this another page, we want to use the query string of the post, like we want to be displaying the posts. Now what I'm going to be doing here is I'm not going to be connecting to the server. I'm just going to be displaying the query string in the URL. So I'm going to be getting like up to three query strings from the URL. The post here, let us say okay, p This is the post here, and let's say then $sign. Okay, PHP. I'm going to write in PHP here. So I'm going to say echo $sign underscore get. So I'm going to be getting the post here, from the URL, and the post month, and also the post string. Okay, let me just say the post string. So post month and post string. Okay, so this is what we are going to be getting from the URL whenever we come to this page. Now let's try to go to let's create a link in our home.php to go to another page. .php, and we can just leave it like that. Let's say go to another page. Let's save it and let's go back, and let's just load the page and go to the home page. Okay, go to another page. Alright, so this is what I'm actually expecting. This is the error that I'm expecting. It's saying undefined index post year, undefined index post month, and undefined index post year. Okay, if I put the post year now, post year, or instead let us, okay, first of all let me write it here, post year equal to 2021. Alright, as you can see, it has gotten the post year from it. And let's just come to the link here and include everything. Post year equal to 2021. All this stuff, you can replace it with data from the database, and post month equal to 11, and post equal to my how to make SEO friendly URL. So that's going to be the post. Okay, so this is the post here, the post month, and the post. All right, now let's go back, and let's just go back to the home page now, and let's go to the page. All right, as you can see, if you look to the bottom of the browser now, you can see the query string along with the page. Okay, now saying post there. Oh, I made a mistake. It is post there. Okay, now let's go back and let's go to the page. Now it's going to get everything. Now the post here, it has gotten the post here, the post month, and the post. Now, but this is not SEO friendly, and it's not Google search or Google friendly also. It's not SEO friendly and it's not Google friendly. The URLs that are SEO friendly are URL that are like this, like another page /2021 /11 and /this. So this is the SEO friendly URL. So let's go check it out in the browser. Let us see the page. All right, let me put a break here. Okay. All right, so this is the SEO friendly URL, like another page 2021/11/ how to make friendly SEO. You can reorder it anyhow you want. So now, how do we achieve a user-friendly SEO this way? Now, if you try to just go to another page, you see it's not going to get anything, but the URL is there, the 2021/11 and the post string is also there, but it's not getting it. So how do we achieve that? Now, you can achieve that with the .htaccess file. Now, after writing this condition here, now we can now achieve what we want to achieve. We are going to use rewrite rule, and we are going to say everything that comes before another page .php, and that is like this with the /, and we want to match, because we are matching a number which is 2021. So we are going to say this and regular expression like 0 to 9 and plus, because it's not going to be we are simply matching more than one number. All right, and we're also matching a number again, so 0 to 9, more than 1. So now we are going to be matching text, and the text can also include number. Okay, so we are going to say 0 to 9, A to Z, and we are going to be matching this. I can escape it. I'm going to matching this, and the URL can also contain an underscore. Okay, and it's not going to be just only one. It's not going to be just only one character, like more character like that. Okay, after matching this, now we want to match it against the another page .php. So we are simply telling it that if you match this regular expression, redirect it to another page .php, and inside the query string, like the first one here, so it's going to match them into groups. The first bracket is the group 1, the second bracket is group 2, and the third bracket is the group 3. So it will match it from 0 to 9 matches. So the 0 one will contain all the matches, every match that it matched. So it's going to match them into an array. I think so, because Python matches things into an array. So it matches them into an array. Okay, so you can now get the one. So this one is going to be at the index of 1, index of 2, and index of 3. Like the number 3, not index. The index of 3 also. Okay. Now the next one is, okay, let me just copy this here. Just copy this, copy it here. Okay, so this 2021, we are going to be replacing it with the first match, which is this bracket here. It matches with the bracket, so all the brackets here are each match. So the first bracket is the first match. The second one, which is the post month that we are matching, it is going to be in the second match, and this one is going to be in the third match. Okay, now we can now go to the browser and reload the page. All right, it's still not matching it. Okay, now let's try to go to the another page now again. It's saying undefined post here. Okay, so what are we doing? Okay, so we need to add a flag here, that's NC. The NC means non-case, do not match case, do not consider case, and after matching it, just stop the execution of the code here. That's the L. The L stand for stop the execution of the code. After matching it successfully, stop the execution of the code and execute it. So let's reload the page. Okay, it's still not doing it. Let's load the page again there, and let's go. Okay, now what you are saying is, okay, I think we need to escape this also. Okay, so what's the bug? Where's the bug? We write to another page, then /2021 /2021, then /this and /this /this. Okay, so what went wrong in our code? Okay, we've written everything. Okay, I think let's change the symbolic link. Let's change it to multi-views. And let's go back to the browser. So it's now working successfully. Alright, so we've achieved what we want to achieve. Now, what was causing the error was the symbolic link. Let me just copy it and comment it and change this to multi-views. Okay, let's reload it again. Alright, let's go back and let's reload this one. Let's reload it also again. Okay, so this is now we've achieved the semantic URL. We've achieved the semantic URL. Alright, so you can change the order. You can change the order here. Actually, you can change it to this page. You can change this one here. But after that, you also have to change this to, you change this here and move this, the post here, move the post here, and do that also here in this place. You also move the post here, move it here, and move this here. Okay, so that's that. Let's reload the page. Okay, now let's go to the URL. Now it is okay, we need to change this one too also. We need to change this, and it's going to be on the back, and this is going to be alright. So let's go, let's load the page. So another page / how to make SEO friendly URL /11 /21, like the post month and the post year. Let's go to the post. Alright, so you still get it. We get the post year, and we get the post month, and we get the post string. And search engine friendly URLs. So if Google bots come to your website and see the URL that looks like this, is going to be happy about that. And this is one of the stuffs that make websites rank at the top in Google search engine. The URL, the way the URL is constructed, it makes sense more than this one. Let me just display it also. And let me move it in. Okay, so Google prefer URLs that looks like this to URLs that looks untidy like this. So this is how to make semantic and SEO friendly URL with htaccess. Now you can come to mode rewrite documentation and read more about how to use mode rewrite documentation. And just come here if you want to read more about the htaccess file. This is the documentation. This is the homepage document. This is the homepage of documentation, and this is the documentation of MDN documentation of htaccess. All the links and the lesson files of this tutorial is going to be available in the description of this tutorial. Okay, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please support me by subscribing